Hey guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day. My name is Kasim. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur, and in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through the exact process that I used to sign 5 clients and scale from 0 to over 25K per month in 1 week with my agency. Before this, I came from a place of my biggest client ever was 1.5K per month. And of course, with these 5 clients, they were all at a minimum of 5K per month, some even at 6K per month, 6.5K per month. So I'm going to show you guys exactly the process that I used to go on and sign these clients, the outreach method I used, the sales process I used, exactly how I closed them, and also show you guys proof as well. So I'm so excited to want you guys through this. Let's go through it. So guys, let's jump straight into it. How I signed 5 clients and generated over 20K per month of revenue for my agency in just 1 week. Now, first, let me give you a little bit of context on me and also what I do. So who am I? My name is Kasim Akram. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur from Scotland in the UK, if you can hear the accent. I started my first ad agency when I was 17 in high school. And in that same year, maybe like 7 months after that I started it, I hit 10K per month. And then when I hit 10K per month, I moved to Dubai on my 18th birthday. And since then, I've started a new growth partner agency. I've traveled around the world, and I'm currently now living in Bali, which is where I'm shooting this video. And the type of agency that I run is called a TikTok growth partner agency. So I specialize in helping e-commerce brands and SaaS companies grow through TikTok and content. So the services that we do is stuff like TikTok ads, organic content creation, UGC ad creatives, and just overall growth strategy for these 2 different types of companies. So let's get into the context of how this week happened. So this was actually really crazy when I look back at it. This was actually the first week that we ever signed a client for this agency, for my growth partner agency. And keep in mind also, it's just me. I have no other partners. So what actually happened was I launched outreach. I started outreach around 50 to 75 messages per day. And it was around 5-6 weeks of doing that consistently. And then out of nowhere, and within that 5-6 weeks, there wasn't really much coming in. There wasn't many book calls. It was 3 or 4. Wasn't really many though. Nobody closed. And then out of nowhere, it was 1 week. I was on a Sunday. I looked at my calendar for the next week, and I had 5 calls booked in. And I was like, this is insane. And then throughout that whole week, I was actually in Bali. Throughout that whole week, all of them closed. And when it comes to the numbers that they all closed for and what type of clients that they were, the first one was an e-com brand, and they signed on for what I call a TikTok growth partnership. I can explain in other videos what this actually means, but I don't want to dive too deep into this video. And that was for $5K dollars per month, which is 3.8K pounds. So if you've seen the numbers, it's pounds converted to dollars. The second one was a SaaS company, a really massive SaaS company that closed for a test project, which is just us producing 10 UGC ad creatives for them for $3,300 per month. Third one was another e-com brand with another TikTok growth partnership, with also included like a little bit of an influencer stuff, which is for $6,600. Fourth one was another e-com brand for another test project of UGC production, which is again for $3,300. And the last one was another e-com brand for UGC test project, which is for 20 UGC creatives, which is for $5,600. So obviously, like you can see, I want you to understand as well before I go deep into the rest of the stuff. This was all with me having no prior experience with TikTok or UGC or anything to do with any of this, really. I had no case studies. I had nothing to show before this, no clients to refer people to me. So this all happened. All these numbers I'm showing you in terms of what I closed them for was all my first clients for this agency, with no case studies or examples to show before this. So this is what you guys have been waiting for, the warm Loom method. This is the strategy that I've been using to scale my agency from the beginning for this to happen, and also still until now, where we're over 80K per month within like 7 to 8 months, I think, since we started. So let's get straight into it. The first step is to source leads organically. Now, the word organically is very, very important here, because most agency owners make the mistake of trying to buy leads from lead sourcers or buying leads from databases, and that will never work. I've actually never seen it work in my life. And I think this is honestly one of the reasons as to why I did so well so quickly with my outreach. So you can dive into this a bit more yourself. I don't want to go too deep into the details because I want to make this video not too long. But yeah, overall, choose a sub niche. I mainly use Google to begin with, and then from there I go into Instagram. So I use the suggested tab to turn one lead into like maybe 5-6 leads. Then from there, the Instagram message is what I go from there. So pretty much what you have to do, and why I choose Instagram as the first touch point, is because it's the easiest touch point where you can kind of make yourself look different. You can make yourself look unique and a bit more higher quality than just sending an email with nothing in that email just other than text. With an Instagram account, you have a lot more to show. Your content in Instagram account, your profile picture, your bio, the website in your bio, everything like that, your highlights. So this is why I chose Instagram as my first touch point. So what I did was I set up over 5 Instagram accounts, and then from there I optimized them all with content of me talking about some advice around TikTok and showing some examples of good creatives, all this different type of stuff like that. And then from there, what I would do is I send messages to all these leads that I source, around 50 to 75 per day. And a message would look like this. So it's very, very genuine, very, very It's not salesy. You're not trying to come across like you're an agency. The big thing, which I'll talk about multiple times in this video and in this training, is that you have to come across like someone that's a genuine expert in your field, just trying to give them advice. That's all it is. You're not trying to come across like a agency trying to send them on for their services or trying to pitch their services or anything like this. And then the biggest part of this is towards the end of this message, the only thing that I ask for is just for their best email of their CMO or CEO, whoever's highest up, that they can give me the email for. And the reason is because you don't want to pitch the call straight away. You don't want to go and say like, let's just jump on call, or I think you'd be interested in my services, or I think I can help you out in this, because you want it to seem low commitment. And I'll talk about this later on in the video too. And also really important things to follow up 3 to 4 times. Hey guys, just cutting in here. If you're enjoying the video so far and finding it valuable, make sure you go click subscribe and like the video just now. But I also want to personally invite you to join my new free community on School called the New Era of Entrepreneurs. Inside of this, I'm going to create exclusive trainings and walkthrough videos on first, how to get started with building your own growth partner agency, which is the business model that I started when I was 18 as a complete beginner and scaled it to over 50k per month in the first 6 months. And obviously, of course, still run that to this day. And number 2, trainings and walkthrough videos on how to level up your mindset and become the best version of yourself to create your dream life just like I have, alhamdulillah. And you can also watch me build and scale my new growth partner agency to 50k per month live. I'll be showing you guys every single step that I take to do it and holding nothing back at all. As well as that, of course, you're also going to be able to jump on calls with me where you can ask me pretty much anything about anything, and most importantly, become a part of a family of like-minded winners from all around the world that keep you accountable and become your brothers for life. I know this is exactly what you dreamt of having, so the link to join, again, completely for free, no payments at all, will be in the description of this video. I'll see you inside of there. Enjoy the rest of this video. Now, after you get that message back from them, where they send you their email, then from there, it's time to send them the value packed Loom. So this Loom is honestly one of the reasons as to why I do so well with my outreach, and especially with the way that I do my Loom. A lot of people do Looms, but they don't do it the way that I do it. So when it comes to the Loom, what you're trying to do is to create a valuable presentation first. So you have to create this presentation first before you film the Loom. And this presentation, the whole idea of it is for you to not come across like you're trying to sell them on their services. But like I said before, you're trying to come across like a genuine expert that's just trying to give them advice with no strings attached. Okay. So the way that I do this is I first show results and case studies. If I have any, if I don't have any, what I can also do is also, for example, let's say I want to show in this Loom how brands can scale through using, I don't know, this new thing, TikTok Shop and affiliate systems on TikTok and content. What I would do is, instead, if I don't have any results myself, I'll go ahead and find other brands that have done this really well and analyze what they've done and break it down for them. So I don't necessarily have to say these are my results. I just have to say this is a proof of concept that what I'm going to show you in this video actually works. That makes sense? So then I go and show examples of my work if I have any. You can also do free, you can just do free work and get examples from there. Actionable advice on how they can scale, linking to your offers, of course. And then at the end, the CTA is then to book in a call. So you say to them, blah, blah, blah. I think, I could spend hours talking about this in this video, but I think, I don't want to waste your time. So I'd love to jump on call with you and run you and your team through what you should be doing, linked to what it is you're actually going to offer them in extreme detail, so you know exactly what to do and implement in 2024, for example. And then you record this Loom, should be around 5 to 8 minutes max, and then you send that Loom to them with your agency domain, and then hopefully they see it and they go ahead and watch it. But if they don't watch it straight away, this is the mistake that everybody else makes. If they don't watch it straight away, that's when you have your strategic follow-ups. So then from there, the big goal about this outreach strategy is to never waste a lead. Don't just see leads as numbers. Don't just spam leads through sequences or spam messages out and then hope to get responses back. You have to follow up very strategically. So the way I do that is I have 2 automated sequences set up. The first one is to ensure that they actually watch the Loom, because then you get notification from Loom when they watch it. And then when you've seen that they watch the Loom, the second sequence is to make sure that they actually book in a call. So that's the 2 goals that you want from this whole outreach process. First to get their email, second for them to watch the Loom, and then third to actually get them to book in a call with you. And then the big thing as well is to have never-ending follow-up. So in my sequences, they last months and months. I don't even know how long they last. You just increase the amount of days in between each email, the more emails you send. So now let's get into the copywriting for the outreach messaging. Now, like I said, I'm going to say this multiple times because I wanted to hit home for you guys. This is like the big differentiating factor from you to everybody else if you follow my advice and follow this advice and the way that I've done this. So the first thing is to be genuine, not be salesy. So the idea is to not care at all about any copywriting strategies or any copy strategies or techniques or any sales strategies. All that stuff won't work. And the overarching reason is because you're not trying to sell to a consumer that will be gullible to these techniques or tactics or these strategies. what you're trying to do here is you're trying to personally connect with a founder or a CEO of a 7-figure, maybe eight-figure business. So if you're trying to do that, why would that 7-figure entrepreneur want to, even read your email if they see the slightest bit of salesiness in that email? You have to understand that. So you're trying to approach this as if you're genuinely trying to connect with this person, as if, for example, you want to meet up with them and you want to have a genuine connection with them. That's how you have to approach everything you're doing here. So be very friendly, position yourself as the expert, come across that you're just genuinely trying to give them advice, and you respect and admire what they've built, and you're just trying to build a personal connection with them. And then the biggest thing as well is that you want to build up to the end goal of the CTA being to book in a call. So you don't want that to be the first touch point. You don't want a call to action, the first touch point to be, let's book in a call, let's jump on call. You want it to be first, okay, give me your email. It's very low commitment. Then it's going to be, okay, you've watched this video where I gave you loads of advice. Now it's time for you to actually book in a call after I've given you that value first. Does that make sense? So the next thing is a sales structure. Now I know I'm firing through this quite quickly, is because I want this video to be like around 10 minutes. I don't want it to be too long. But I'm also going to talk to you guys about how you can actually get this training towards the end. So when it comes to the sales structure, the first thing that I do is have this intro call. So after the call gets booked to my outreach sequences, the call gets booked. And on this first call, the whole goal of this first call is to build trust. Like I said, that personal connection is so important. So the first thing I do is build rapport. Second thing I do, which is really important too, is find out exactly what their situation is and also exactly what they're most interested in. Because based off that, that's when I can then, when it's time to actually pitch or to propose what I can do for them, that's how I know what to focus on. And then that then creates the internal trust in their mind with like, this guy's catering exactly to what I want and it sounds perfect. So by the end of this call, where then the next part of it is where you walk them through something that I call the growth partnership proposal doc, which I can dive deep into in another video. Let me know in the comments if you do want me to do that. It makes it seem like a no-brainer for them. It makes it seem like this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I was looking for. He's going to solve all my problems. This is perfect. Whatever amount of money he wants me to pay, if I have the money, I'll pay it. That's the idea. The idea is from this call, there's going to be almost no chance that if they have the money that they won't pay you. Obviously, some clients, some prospects won't have the money. That's fine. But if they do have the money and they're looking to scale, then there's no chance they won't pay you. You'll be the best option for them. And then also as well, a really important point is to always schedule in the follow-up call. So you never leave the call without having the next call booked in. That kind of like removes the chance of the problem that a lot of agency owners find, which is like they have a good call, that, oh, this is going to be amazing, they're going to sign on, but then the lead just doesn't reply to them for like 2-3 weeks, maybe even months. You want to give them the skin in the game where they have that second call booked in. So they jump on that call and maybe 3 days later, maybe a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, but there's something there to make sure that they jump on call with you and touch base with you again after that first call, if they don't close straight away. Now, if they don't close straight away on that second call, this is where you close the deal. So the first thing you do is answer all the questions. Second thing you do is you push on why you're the better alternative to anything else, to any other agencies, to any other freelancers, to any other teams, even the option of them building out a team in-house to do what you do. You have to portray as to why you're the better option in that sense. That's a big thing. Then the next thing you have to do to make them feel even more comfortable with working with you, which kind of gets them across the line, is to run through the details of what the process of working with you looks like. So you take them through what your onboarding process will look like. You take them through what the first month of working with you will look like. So the idea is that they can envision themselves working with you and they have full trust if they pay you 5K, 6K, that they know what's going to happen. And they're not just going to pay you that money and just trust that you'll do well. They know what's going to happen. They know when it's going to happen. That makes it a lot easier for them to close. And then obviously at the end of it, you agree on the details and then you close the client. And the way that I close the client happens in 2 ways. So I try to do it on the call. So I try to send them an onboarding email on the call. Now in this onboarding email, what I have is a link to the proposal doc that I made for them, the link to the first payment, to process the first payment, so the Stripe link, and the third one is the link to book in the next onboarding call. And sometimes as well, I also send the link to join a Slack channel. That's also what I send sometimes, but it depends what the situation is. So this email is either sent on the call, or maybe sometimes they have to talk to their team, whatever. So I send it straight after the call. But the big thing as well is that you have to ensure that you send it either on the call or ASAP, like within the first 30 minutes of you jumping off that call. So to make sure that there's no time wasted for them to like not see your email or anything like this. Now the last point here, which is really, really important, which really changes the game for me, which allowed me to do 50 to 75 messages and follow up with all these leads, which is also, I think, probably the biggest reason as to why all these 5 calls got booked in 1 week. It wasn't because I just did outreach. It was because I had this follow-up system in place that followed up with these 1,500 leads that I messaged in the last 6 weeks or whatever it was. It wasn't a case of
the first message got them to reply to me. Some of them, of course, did. Maybe I think 2 out of the 5 replied to me and booked in a call from the first time I sent them the Loom. But most of them, they booked in a call from the 6th or 7th follow up. That was like 4 weeks later after the first message. So there's a really important point, and that's why you need to have sequences in place. Now, I use Instantly, which is one of the email softwares, which is pretty easy to use. So like I said, I have 2 sequences, one to get into watch the Loom and one to get into booking a call. And these follow up for ages, and you only move them from that campaign or that sequence after you've seen that they've completed that CTA. Okay. Now, the second thing that I did is I set up multiple Instagram accounts. Now, the mistake that people make is they reach out from their one agency account or from their one personal account that isn't optimized. But what I did is I set up 5 different, or even more than 5 different Instagram accounts. I made them look very, very genuine, very, very real, and very, very authentic too. So I made it, I filmed content just for that account. I gave advice. I showed examples of work. I broke down other cases of other brands. I, filled the highlight stories up. I made the bio look good. I had a profile picture, all those different things. I made it look like a very real account. And then from there, what I was able to do with those accounts was then give that to then what I call my outreach operators. So my outreach operators are a concept of a team member that I created, an evolution of what you may have heard of appointment setters. So these outreach operators are essentially VAs that I've trained to become absolute weapons at doing everything to do with outreach. So they essentially just take care of your whole outreach process. And that's what I did. That's what I developed for myself first. And then now what I also do is I also train and place these outreach operators into my mentees agencies to kind of like give them the same growth and the same journey that I have when it comes to scaling their agency really quickly. So what these guys do is that they manage the whole process. So they obviously find all the leads, they measure all the leads, they manage the CRM, they move leads around from sequence to sequence, and they also then report back to me. So I can just sit back. In that 6-7 weeks that I didn't have any calls booked in, I wasn't really stressed because I wasn't doing all the work, so I wasn't emotionally attached. I was just letting my VAs do their thing, and I knew that the time would come. And luckily, the time did come. Where in 1 week, 5 calls got booked in, and then all of them closed. It was an insane week, but that was the start of my agency. So we went from 0 to over 20K per month, maybe even 25, because some of them also upsold after the first project in just 1 week. So it was an insane journey.
Yo guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you found it valuable and you want access to the training document that I went through in this video, then I want to give it to you. The easiest way is to go ahead and find me on Instagram. It's at @KasimAkram. Go ahead and DM me the message on there, 5 clients. And if you DM me that, I will go ahead and send you the link to this document so you can go through it yourself. There was actually a bit at the end of the document that I did not go through in the video that I think you guys will love. So I want all of you to go ahead and connect with me on Instagram, send me the message 5 clients, and I will send you the link to access this training document for yourself so you can see my messages, you can see everything that I went through in this video in a lot more detail and go through it yourself. So guys, much love. Make sure you subscribe. Also let me know how you found this video in the comments below, and I will see you in my DMs and also in my next video. I'll see you guys there.